Whenever Jack got cute, it always backfired. We're eating in Jason's restaurant. It's in Beverly Hills. It's a very good restaurant. And Jack says, George, I got a great idea how to, you and I, let's have a very expensive meal, and we won't have to pay for it. I said, how do you do that, Jack? He says, after dinner, I'll call over Dave Chase, and I'll say, we just had an argument. And if George Burns gets the check, I'm never going to eat in here again. And you say, if Jack Benny gets the check, I'll never eat in here again. And we're both very good customers. He'll say, boys, don't argue. He'll tear up the check. I said, Jack, it's a brilliant idea, and it can't miss. Sure enough, after dinner, he called over Chasen. He says, Dave, we just had an argument. If George Burns gets the check, I'm never going to eat in here again. I just sat there, never said a word. I just looked at him. So Chasen gave him the check. And he said, George, aren't you going to say anything? I said, sure, Jack, thanks for dinner.
Hello there, I'm Marty Allen. Some people say that American humor only works in America. There's no such thing. Humor is universal. We'd like you to meet some very funny men who make a living getting audiences into hysterical laughter. They brought their American-style humor to England, turned loose on a typical English audience, and gave them a sample of their comedy. Like this fella you're about to see. Watch.
A lot of people say, are you really a wine taster? No, I'm your Avon representative. You drink two of you had my problem. I'm an alcoholic. A lot of people say, is there a difference between alcoholics and drunks? Yeah, drunks don't have to go to the meetings. Do I get drunk easy? Man, I get drunk on Scotch tape. Am I married? Are you kidding? What's a home without a wife? A good place to bring birds. You know what it means to come home, get warmth, affection, tenderness, and loving care? Do you know what it means? It means you're in the wrong damn house. I came home the other night and my wife kicked me out of bed. I said, hey, what's that for? She says, for being a lousy lover. So I got back in bed and I kicked her out. She says, hey, what's that for? I says, for knowing the difference. She kept screaming at me on top of her voice. I'll dance on your grave. I'll dance on your grave. So I went down to my lawyer and I had it put in my will to be buried at sea. And the payoff is, the one as bit is I went out in the woods with my friend Harvey, me and Harvey, and we built a fire. And we were sitting by the fire boozing. All of a sudden out of the bushes came a womble. And it put out my fire, took away the matches, and then did the damnedest thing you ever saw. It ate my friend Harvey. And a snake bit me, and I took out a knife and I tried to cut open the wound and suck the poison out, but it didn't help me, because he bit me on the back of the neck. Did you ever milk a snake? It's hard to get the bucket between her legs. And an important thing to know is that every cigarette you smoke takes 4 minutes off your life. And every cocktail you drink adds 5 of those minutes back on. So if you'll have 3 drinks between every 2 cigarettes, you'll live forever. And now I'd like to leave you with a toast. Here's to Eve, mother of our race, who wore the fig leaf in the proper place. And here's to Adam, father of us all, who was Johnny on the spot when the leaves began to fall.
Here's a classic stand-up act that has made him one of the most popular funny men in Las Vegas and on the concert and nightclub circuit. He travels regularly as the opening act for the legend himself, Frank Sinatra. Here's Pat Henry.
I only got so much time, fellas. I want to thank you for that marvelous round of applaud. I'm so happy. You know, most comics now, they come out and they're going to tell you how they love London. You know, they want to get in on your good side. I really love London. In fact, if you folks ever come to the States, we have some marvelous sights I would like you to see. We have the Queen Mary, the London Bridge. We have... It's unbelievable. Today I had a great day. A chap I met in London took me down to see the changing of the guard. Now, if you folks ever come to America, I want to take you to the White House and show you the changing of the presidents. See, we have two parties called the Republicans and the Democrats. Now, the Republicans got in trouble because they had a thing called Watergate. Are you familiar with Watergate? They tapped a hotel, wiretapped. And it was so ridiculous. You know, they had this thing on television for 2 years. My mother thought it was a series. And she loved it because she thought the star was Italian, a judge by the name of Sirica, which I am Italian on my mother and father's side. Cover me. And, you know, Italians get blamed for many things. Like, I had an Uncle Fungi who is now away. They put him away, and he's an innocent man. It could happen to anybody sitting here tonight, standing on the corner in New York City one day, minding his own business, a little knife in his hand, paring an apple. A guy ran around the corner real fast, right into the knife, 14 times. In the back. Now, the biggest thrill for me is we call it the jet lag, when you fly from New York City to London. You get on those big jumbo... Now, I fly British... Over, what is it now? British Airways. They changed it, didn't they? It was BOAC. I just learned how to say BOAC, and they changed it. British Overseas? British Airways. Well, we went overseas, across the pond. And it's such a great flight. They relax you, you know. They sit you down, they play music. We heard songs like, How Deep is the Ocean? And we saw a wonderful movie, the Amelia Earhart story. You know, that's great while you're flying across the ocean like that. And I love to fly. You know what worries me? I'm afraid a bomb may be on the plane. So I called the Statistic Bureau, and I said, what's the odds on a bomb being on a plane? They said 1,000,000 to 1. I didn't like the odds. So the next day I called back, I said, what's the odds on 2 bombs being on a plane? They said 20 million to 1. Now that's not bad. Now I fly all over. But I carry 1 bomb. See, and today everybody's fighting for something. Women are fighting to be liberated. Am I right, ladies? Why? Women control 76% of the wealth in the entire world. Would you like to be equal? Give us back our 24%. Women outlive men by 7 years. Did you know this, sweetheart? Women outlive men by... That's why all you guys are insured. Women have insurance, they got time. They sit around and wait. And they tell you cute things like, you're only 55, why don't you play handball? Be more active. Play tennis, it's good for the arteries, makes them hard as a rock. When I lived in New York and it was 74 degrees, I could not play golf. When we got to Las Vegas, it was 118. She said, play 36 holes. They want you to grab that little alligator on the T-shirt. Let me explain that. You see, all the Jewish country club, the Jewish fellas wear little T-shirts, and they got an alligator on the pocket. About 6 months ago, I went to a very Gentile club, hit my ball in the water, went to get the ball, and a big crocodile jumped up. He had a little T-shirt on with a Jew on the pocket over here. Now, I was an altar boy. I was going to be a priest, but I can't drink that early in the morning, you know? You got to think about a few of these, gang. We're going to relax. Anybody got a cigarette? Can you just toss it on the stage for me, please? Anybody, just toss it right on the stage. Just toss it right up on the stage. That's about it. Cheap crowd. I need a match. Anybody have a gold lighter? Just toss it right on the stage, please. Do you have a match, my love? Thank you. Beautiful. You lit my eye. Did you ever light a cigarette for Sammy Davis? No, come on. Sammy's got perfect vision. 20. So, who threw this? Come on, we want to check your papers. Get over here. He did. Fellas, I think the guy from Mexico's here with that stuff you ordered. See, this is not my regular act. I don't lie to you, folks. My regular act stinks. And right now, I'm in the twilight of a mediocre career. I can't even make a comeback. I haven't been anyplace. This is it. Ah, but it's beautiful. Life is beautiful, right? See, I come from New York City, and New York City has changed so much. My goodness, the things that happen. The only thing safe at 4 o'clock in the morning in New York City is a fast bullet. I'm afraid to go home. Believe me, they're muggers. 3 guys last week robbed a bank. They got mugged on the way to the getaway car. True. Last week in New York, they caught a streaker and they searched him. Now that's weird, you know. We have police in New York. I'll tell you how wild they are. One night I saw a cop. We call them cops. I saw a cop fire 3 warning shots right into a guy. Tiffany's was robbed, right? You've heard of Tiffany's. It's a magnificent jewelry store. It was robbed in broad daylight. Now, police chief went down. He said to the owner, "How did you get robbed in broad daylight?" He said, "You'll never believe it. A big truck backed up, and the tailgate went down, and an elephant got out. And I crushed my window with his head, and he sucked up the jewels with his trunk, and he got out of the truck and went that way." And the police says, "What'd the elephant look like?" The guy says, "What are you, a nut? He was an elephant. They all look alike." He says, "You're wrong." He says, "Indian elephants have shorter ears than African elephants." He says, "How do I know?" He was wearing a stocking over his head. I have a suite here, a cute suite, you know. I have a room with an adjoining. I don't know what it's adjoining with. I can't get the door open. And I have a honeymoon couple, second honeymoon couple, a little old Jewish couple next door. And it's so beautiful. You know, the walls are kind of thin, and I had the glass. And she said, "Jake, it's so romantic. Why don't you bite me on the neck like you used to?" He says, "All right, go get my teeth." So, look at your wife's elbow right now. It looks like an elbow. Something happens to that elbow before they go to sleep. I think they all get a big file, and they sharpen it to a point. That's in case they need you during the night. They give you this in the ribs. You're laughing, sweetheart. I get it right here. It's murder. I sleep naked. You sleep naked? No, you know why I sleep naked? Not what you're thinking. I sleep naked in case, God forbid, while I'm asleep at night, a war breaks out. And the guns go off, you know? And I have to run out in the street real fast. I got no uniform on. I don't know what side I'm on. I'm not going to get it right away. We're all, no, true. Oh, you're rascal. The Empire Theater. There was a store called Forsyth's. Is it still there? With the cashmere sweaters? I went in with 3 guys from Brooklyn. While I was buying 1 sweater, they robbed 5. I drink to you, no matter where you're from. Cheers. To my Jewish friends, l'chaim. You know what chaim means? Life. I got an uncle doing chaim in San Quentin right now. Anybody here from Canada? I mean, Canada? Are you Canadian? Where are you from, my love? Who? Ontario. That's beautiful. You folks ever been there? You got to go to Canada. I take my wife up there a year. She looks great up there, you know. That's moose country. Did you hear about the 2 Irishmen who went to Ontario? They went up to Canada to hunt, and they caught this big moose. and they were dragging him by the hind legs, and they were struggling because the horns were getting caught in the trees and the shrubbery, and they were struggling along. And once a hunter comes along, he says, I don't want to butt in. He says, why don't you drag him by the horns? This way the hind legs will just follow along, and it's very easy. So they run around the other end and grab by the horns, and they start dragging him. Patty says, you know, Mike, the guy's right. This is very easy. The other one says, yeah, but we're getting further and further away from the car. See, they were dragging him by the horn. See about the firing squad in Ireland? They form a circle, put the guy in the middle. I worked, last night we had a couple married 25 years, I swear, and so beautiful. She was crying, and he was crying. I said, why are you crying? He said, 25 years ago, I wanted to kill her. And my lawyer said, go ahead, kill her, you get 25 years in jail. He says, I'm crying because tonight, I would have been free. You bet your life. Oh, I remember this. My God. Here we go. For the married couple, I hope you like it. Fiddles. You know it? Come on, you want to hum along? Come on, everybody. Yeah, but I should be proud of my heritage. Don't forget, folks, it was only 400 years ago. Christopher Columbus left Spain with 4 ships to prove the world was round. You thought it was 3 ships. 4. One went over the edge. Listen. Take this out, have it cleaned and burned. Oh, excuse me, I didn't know he had a strong union over here. I gotta see his back. There's a big tattoo, no handball playing. Because Dean Martin, he's a great drinker, Dean Martin. You know that? See, some guys drink, but Dean can really. Frank is a good drinker. In fact, they got an Olympic drinking team now. They really have, honey. Dean believes nobody's drunk as long as you can lay down without holding on. You've been beautiful. You know, tonight is a special. Can you play softly, just softly while I do this? Because I'm finished. I'm going to go, sweetheart, you and I. I got a weird contract here. My first paragraph forbids me to read the rest of the contract. It's weird. I found out this morning, while Trini's on, I got to put on a skirt and sit at the bar and look thirsty. Tonight is a great night. You know what tonight is? Tonight is 24 years, and this is no lie, that I have been in show business, and never once in 24 years has the entire audience, when I got through, the entire audience jumped to their feet and yelled, bravo, you know? I guess we'll go for 25 years, fellas. Unless you guys know God Save the Queen, but you are beautiful. Keep your health, because if you got your health, you got everything you ever need in life. I thank you. Good night, and we'll see you again.
Frank Gorshin proves what the word versatility is all about. He isn't just one man on stage. He's a whole repertory company of famous names and faces. There's music along with the comedy, and one more entertainer proving that laughter travels across any boundary. Will the real Frank Gorshin come forward, please?
This, my friends, is only the beginning, but such a sweet beginning, too. Now, at last, I see a chance of winning, see a chance of breaking through. Who can say today may live in history as long as there's a history book? Yesterday, the world was still a mystery, but today, tonight, it's got a new and different look. And so, my friends, let's set the old world spinning. Change is what I recommend. So come on, my friends, let's see this sweet beginning through to the bitter end. See this sweet beginning. there's a common denominator between all people. 3 words. They can be said a lot of different ways. I love you. How many different ways are there to say I love you? No need to say it any other way. You love me. I wonder if such a thing can be. Just me too. That's up to I love you and you love me. Oh, Judy, 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 I love you, but I can't move my neck. So many different ways that I can say I love you. Don't be afraid. I'm going to kiss you on the varicose vein. So let me try and say it every way. Oh, everybody loves somebody sometime. Oh, everybody loves souls. Something in your kisses told me my sometime. I haven't been feeling too well lately, so I went to my doctor for a checkup, and he said they found blood in my alcohol system. Oh, everybody. Oh, you can drink booze out of a bottle or an old tomato can. Booze will never kill you, but an old tomato can. Oh, I feel sorry for all those people that don't drink, because when they get up in the morning, that's as good as they're going to feel all day. Oh, everybody. Wait a second. Wait, one more. I really feel good this evening because just this very afternoon, I found out how to make sherry wine. You kick her in the throat. That's the first time I heard it, too. I think I'll say it again. I just found out how to make sherry wine. You kick her in the throat. Oh, everybody loves somebody. Hey, wait a second. Wait, I don't want to talk to you. It's me, Lieutenant Columbo. I want you to do me a favor, all right? I want you to do something for me. I want you to take my raincoat out and have it dirty. Now, I would like to tell you I love you. You know what I mean? Well, I can't tell you I love you because I'm a cop, but it's wrong for my image. You know what I mean? Well, I just want you to know how I feel about you. You know what I mean? Well, if you know what I mean, drop me a line and tell me what I mean, because I don't know what I mean. You know what I mean? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. For you, my love, I've tortured. I've murdered. I've transplanted brains, made monsters out of human beings. All this I've done so that you and I could have what we've always wanted, a decent life. And I've perfected a solution that shall grant you everlasting. I've also recently discovered a new way to make sherry wine. You kick her in the throat. Well, that's the first time I heard that. I think I'll say it again. You've only to drink... Oh, I can't wait to ride the train on Monday. You've only to drink this, my love, and you shall live forever. Drink. Oh, well, back to the drawing board. Oh, I can tell a girl I love her like John Wayne. Well, lady, I love you. I'd sure like you to come with me. There are new towns to be built, new fields to be plowed, new roads to be paved. And if you come with me, I'll get you a job. See, I like you so much, I brought you a piece of apple pie with ice cream. I got it right here in my saddlebag. It's a little mushy, but it's the thought that counts. Hello. The name is Cagney. Now, they say that I'm the most impersonated star in Hollywood. Well, that may very well be true. Lord knows I've seen them all. You know. Oh, you dirty rat. I'm gonna fill you so full of lead, every time you sit down, you're gonna leave pencil marks. Or I'm gonna fill you so full of holes, they won't be able to find your nostrils. Or, you see this rod? It means curtains. It's a curtain rod. I guess everybody has kind of an idea now of what I do. I'm a dancer. I do impressions. And it's funny, when you do impressions, people don't think you have a personality of your own. Well, I don't. I never did. I remember when I was a kid, I used to say, gee, I don't have a personality of my own. So I made up my own personalities. And then found out some movie stars were already using them. Now, I had a personality of my own, but I lost it. And nobody wants it. Well, you know, people always say to me, do Cagney, do Widmark, do Tommy Cooper. I mean, once I walked in tonight all by myself, one of the musicians said, here they come. When I take out a girl, I gotta pick her up like Kirk Douglas, take her dancing like Marlon Brando, kiss her goodnight like Burt Lancaster, then I go home feeling like Hitchcock. And the reason I do impressions is because all my life I've loved movies and movie stars. Ever since I was a kid, movies have made me go crazy. Especially gangster pictures. With Western music. I always loved that part of the Western towards the end, the showdown. On one end of the street, Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. Kirk says, you know what today is? You know what time it is? Well, then you know what we gotta do. We gotta show those two killers this town ain't big enough for the four of us. Is that right, Bert? Oh, that's right, Kirk. And I want to make you a promise. I swear to you, Kirk. I swear to you. I swear to you with every fiber of my being. With every bone in my body, with every breath I take, I swear to you I won't wrestle those two 6 feet under. I'm glad you feel that way, Bert. I hate to think you disagreed with me. Oh, wait a minute, Kirk. Maybe these are the same two killers that were after us before. What do they look like? One's taller than the other, They're not the same ones. Last time one was shorter than the other. How can you be so stupid? Hey, Bert. Here they come. What are we gonna do? I get it all figured out, Kirk. You take the one on the right, and I'll take the one on the left. Is that my right or their right? You take the one on your right, which is their left. I'll take the one on my left, which is their right. Well, I got the one on the right that's left, you got the one on the left's right. Right. Hey, Bert, they changed places. Now what do we do? That's simple, Kirk. We change places, too. Down at the other end of the street, are Marlon Brando and Rod Steiger. look at all them teeth. I've never seen so many teeth. I've seen a lot of teeth in my day, but I never... Well, look at them. How do they do that? Hey, Rod, can you do that? Hey, now, let me ask you something, my friend. We are standing out here in the blazing sun, waiting to kill or to be killed, and all you can talk to me about is somebody's teeth. Suppose you tell me what we are going to do. Is it going to be us or the fluoride boys? Now, what is it? I'll tell you what I think, Rod. I think... Hey, Bert, look at them. The one guy's saying nothing, the other one's listening to him. Oh, there they go with them teeth again. You know what I think? You think too much, for your thinking is an unhealthy recreation. Now you watch me, you there. Double your pleasure, double your fun. When I count to 3, we go for our guns. Ready? 1, 2. Brandon, now what are you looking the other way for? I am getting ready to say 3. Goodbye, Brando. So long, Rod. Rod, you should have made them an offer they couldn't refuse. Hey, did you see that, Bert? We got him. It was my teeth. My teeth are so bright they had to look the other way. Oh, wait a minute, Kirk. What about my teeth? My teeth are brighter than your teeth. What did you say? I said, no, wait a minute, Kirk. What about my teeth? My teeth are brighter than your teeth. Yeah, but my teeth did the job. I'm afraid not, Kirk. It was my teeth. My teeth, my teeth, my teeth, my teeth, my teeth. Oh. My teeth. Bert? I can hear the speaker again, Bert. I guess we're just gonna die right here in the middle of the street. Is that right, Bert?
That's right, Kirk. You take the right side, and I'll take the left side.
Is that my right or your right? It's me, Little Caesar, see? I'm not living down there anymore with you people. I'm living up here where I belong, in heaven, on top. All my life, I've wanted to be on top. Now I'm really on top. The nice thing up here is everybody's on top. We're all equal. But I'm running the show, see? There is one guy that needs to be straightened out. Now, I want you people to come with me to the other side of heaven, to where all the movie stars are, to a place called Holywood. Come on. Well, there they are, all my pals. Well, there's Wallace Beery, and there's Sidney Greenstreet. Nice to see you, boys. Yeah, see?
Oh, shucks, you had ought to say that, Eddie. Why everything's fine up here, 'cause it sure is great to be back with Marie and the good old tugboat. Ah, shucks, it's nice to see you, too.
Hello, Edward. Yes, I enjoy living here in the land of everlasting happiness. Land of the pearly gates. Have you seen the gates? The two pearls at the top. Must be worth at least $250,000. A piece. Might be in heaven, but I'm having one hell of a time. Just give me a look, lad. Look who's here. If it isn't the toast of the heavens himself, Mr. Ed Sullivan. What's he to pay for tea?
Hello. I'm very happy to be here. Because up here in this great assembly hall in the sky, I have the opportunity to introduce some great stars that I never could introduce before. I mean, really, really great stars like Mr. Lionel Barrymore.
Well, that's nice of you, Edward, my son. You young whippersnapper. I'm gonna keep my eyes on you.
Come on, let's hear it for Lionel. And over there, the king of all the actors, Mr. Clark Gable. Well, you can count on me, Ed. I'll be there, and I'm bringing Scarlett with me. We'll bust this place wide open. Right out, Clarko. And out there in the little cloud, the young Mr. James Dean. And what about W.C. Fields? I still can't stand kids. A lot of us boys ain't on the old world anymore. Let's just say we're getting together in some other place. And we're all here. There's Bogart and Garfield and Kodiak and Flynn and Coop. And way out there in the clouds, a guy who's happy as can be. You don't have to be in heaven, my little chickadees, to hear him singing up here. All you have to do is listen real hard. 'Cause he's here, he's singing his heart out. The sun shines east, the sun shines west. I know where that sunshine goes. Oh, mammy, my little mammy, my heartstrings are tangled around Alabama, mammy. Mammy, I'm coming. I hope I didn't make you wait. 'Cause mammy, I'm coming. Hold on, I hope I'm not late. Mammy, look
Here's the comedic actor who in his 80s won an Academy Award. Such style, timing. Oh God, he's marvelous.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. The last time I played London was at the Palladium Theater in 1958. I must have made a very good impression because here it is, only 17 years later, and they brought me back. Those 12 girls that were out here, the Blackburn girls, the very beautiful dancers and pretty girls, and they all dressed right next door to me. And there was a hole in the wall between our dressing room, and I was going to plug it up. But why bother? Let them enjoy themselves. So this is the Queen Mary suite, huh? Pretty room. Finally got me singing in the right place. Peculiar how different our cultures are. We have a Queen Mary in Hollywood, too. He's a dressmaker. I gotta keep this lit. I can't talk unless I smoke. Seeing me without a cigar would be like seeing Robert Morley driving an MG and stopping to pick up Orson Welles. I smoke between 15 and 20 cigars a day. My age, I gotta hold on to something. Now I want you to sit back and relax, and you're in for an exciting evening. I'm gonna sing 8 songs. If you like them, I'll sing 9. You don't like them, I'll sing 38. All ballads. I'll sing them slow and sustain the last notes. Now let's see, I've got so many great songs, I don't know which one to start with. And if you start with the right song, you've got a great opening. You know, in show business, if you've got a great opening and a great finish, you don't have to apologize for all this dull stuff that you do in the middle. And sometimes my opening song is so great that people actually think it's my finish. Sometimes it is. Now, let's see, what do I start with? Place park scene, dark, great big moon is shining. No. Let's try Red Rose Rag. Down in the garden where the red roses grow, oh my, I want to go. Pluck me like a flower, cuddle me an hour, lovey, let me learn that red rose rag. Red leaves are falling in that rosy romance. Bees hum, come, now's your chance. Don't go hunting possums, mingle with the blossoms in that flowery, bowery dance. Oh, honey, oh. That's enough of that. That's funny. That's a good song. That's a good song, but it's not a great opening. I'm looking for something great. When the evening sun is sinking. When the evening sun is sinking, I've been thinking of my little log cabin home. I was never meant for president, but you can bet I'll be content to stay there, never again to roam. The house is not good looking. You'll enjoy the cooking when you eat my mother's apple pie. There is no wonderful architecture. Plenty of that, too, I think. That's plenty. No. Now, that's a good song, but it's not good enough to keep your mind off my dull stuff. Pack up your sins. This might do it. This might be an opening song. Pack up your sins and go to the devil in Hades. You'll find the finest of gentlemen and the finest of ladies. They'd rather be down below than up above. Hades is full of thousands of Jones, Browns, Hooligans, Cones, and Brady's. They got a wonderful tune that went to the devil because those jazz bands put a trick in it, a little kick in it, a raggy pick in it. They got a couple of old reformers in heaven, making you go to bed at 11. Pack up your sins, go to the devil, and you never have to go to bed at all. The doggies on the street get together and play. That's enough of that. That's plenty. You know, I'm looking for something that'll make you sit up and lean forward. Let me tell you what makes me different from all the other great singers. You see, they use vocal groups to back them up, big, expensive arrangements. And they need a spectacular finish because when they exit, they need your applause to bring them back. Well, I don't need any of that stuff. I don't exit. I always loved show business. All my life, I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be on the stage, and I made it, and I don't know how. Nobody liked my singing but me. I'd be standing out there singing my heart out, loving the audience, and they would despise me. I got so used to being despised, I thought I was doing well. I must tell you a story about Aunt Margaret. She was 18 years old, and she came into my dressing room, into my office. And she said, Mr. Burns, she says, my name is Ann Margaret, and I understand that you're going to play Las Vegas, and I'd like to be on the show. I says, well, what do you do? She says, I'm a singer. I says, well, let me hear you sing a song. She sang a song, and she was great, and I took her. And she became a star overnight. And 6 months later, I sent for her. And I said, Annie, how about Las Vegas again? She said, I'd love to. Let me hear you sing a song. I would do anything in those days to stay in the show business. I remember I did a single act, and my name was Harry Pierce. I used to change my name every week. I couldn't get a job with the same name twice. And somehow I was booked into the Gem Theater on Houston Street. This is a little theater on the Lower East Side of New York. $15 for 3 days, $5 a day. And the contract had a no cancellation clause. In those days, they could cancel you after the first performance. And after the matinee, the manager was waiting for me. He says, look, kid, he says, that actor of yours can close my theater. You're booked here for $15. Here's the $15 and go home. I said, not me. I'm booked for 3 days. I'm going to play the 3 days. He says, I'll give you $20. Go home. I says, all right. She didn't like my first show. For my second show, I'll change my numbers. I'll open with Tiger Girl, and then I'll sing In the Heart of a Cherry, and then I'll do my big closing number. I'll be waiting for your bill when you come back from San Juan Hill. He says, I'll make it $25. I says, no, sir, I'm staying. I'm a performer. I've got cards printing. Well, that was the end of Harry Pierce. And 3 names later, I was sitting in a little booking office, a small-time booking office, and this theater manager came in, and he said, where could I find Maurice Valenti? I said, I'm Maurice Valenti. I thought I was. And he gave me a contract to play the Myrtle Theater in Brooklyn, and the contract said Maurice Valenti and his Wonder Dog. Well, I signed it. I told you I'd do anything to stay in show business. So I got myself a piece of liver, and I caught myself a dog. And I went to the Myrtle Theater to do my act. I walked out on the stage with the dog under my arm, and I stood there and sang my songs. And in the middle of my third number, the dog did his act. Twice. Ruined my finish. I couldn't do my sand dance. I'm going to tell you something you're not going to believe. I did an act with a seal, and it wasn't my act. I was living in this little boarding house, and this actor was living there. His name was Betts, and he did an act with a seal. It was Captain Betts and Flipper. And he was booked into the Dewey Theater on 14th Street. And he got sick and he asked me to take his place. I says, look, Betts, I says, you're silly. I've never worked with a seal. I wouldn't know what to do. He says, George, the seal does the whole act. The curtain goes up and the seal is on a little platform and you're standing there with a ball in your hand and your pockets full of fish. And you throw the ball to the seal and he bounces the ball, he twirls the ball, he juggles it and flips it back to you, and you throw him a piece of fish and he applauds with his flippers. Now he does 4 more tricks. After each trick, you throw him a piece of fish and he applauds with his flippers. And at the finish of the act, he goes in back of a rack of horns, he blows into them, and he plays Yankee Doodle. Pop, 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 pop. At the finish of Yankee Doodle, he presses a lever, 2 American flags come up, you throw him a piece of fish, and as he's applauding with his flippers, you're taking bows and the curtain comes down. Well, I opened at the Dewey Theater and got away with it. But I had a date that night with a very beautiful girl, Trixie Hart, who was also in show business. And I was ashamed to meet her. Because when you do 4 shows with your pockets full of fish, you don't smell too good. But I met her. And she never even noticed it because she was doing an act with Fink's Mules. In fact, she complimented me on my aftershave lotion. Well, anyway, I changed names and changed partners until I was 27, and then I got my big break, and I married her. And even when I worked with Gracie, I was pathetic. I'd go on the stage, and I'd say to Gracie, "How is your brother?" And she'd talk for 17 minutes, and I'd stand there and smoke a cigar. And then for the finish of the act, she used to do an Irish jig, and I'd tap my toe and point to her feet. Then for an exit, she'd walk off the stage, and I'd follow her, and that's how I became a star. And believe me, it wasn't easy. Sometimes I forgot to follow her. I understand that Frank Sinatra gave a concert here at the Royal Albert Hall, and it was a smash. I'm glad he's back to show business. You know, he retired. Well, he retired when he was 57. I was 57, I still had pimples. Retire? I'll never retire. What other business can a man... Why should I retire? What other business can a man my age walk out on the stage, smoke a cigar, tell a few jokes, sing a few songs, and use the same color lipstick that Glenda Jackson uses? Augusta J. McCann was a half-back married man. He has been fighting with his wife since married life began. One night at 3:30, while out upon a spree, a motor knocked him down and out and nearly broke his knee. One guy looked down and said, "I think this bloke is dead." But when he said, "Let's take him home," you ready? This is it. McCann jumped up and said, he hollered, "Don't take me home. Please don't take me home. Oh, tell me, what did I do to you? Oh, 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 have a little pity, I'm a poor married man. In search of peace I roam. I'm with you, most anything you do, so please don't take me. I'm not going, you can't make me. Yes, I'm staying, oh please, please, don't take me home." That's my open song. Well, it's getting a little warm, and as I said when I came out, in show business, all you need is a great opening and a great finish. Well, you just heard my great opening, and this is my great finish. You've been a charming audience, and I had a wonderful time, and good night, everybody.
Humor doesn't need a passport ever. Language is not a barrier. People are always ready to laugh. So for Pat Henry, Frank Gorshin, George Burns, I'm Marty Allen saying that the most wasted day of all is that on which we have not laughed. Thank you and good night.